Good day to you, and welcome to Wellywood Wargaming. My name is Damon, and in this video I'll be taking a look at one of the many hangers-on in the game of Necromunda. Before I get into it though, please do like, share, subscribe, check out the Patreon as well if you'd like to support me further. Right then, Brute Handler. 0 to 1 of these you can get in your Necromunda gangs, and there are 110 credits to buy for your gang. However, if you are a Goliath gang, you get these guys for 55 credits, so a 50% discount, pretty fantastic. And of course, the rules for these guys are found in the House of Chains, which is the dedicated Goliath book there as well. Quickly though, the model is available from Forge World in a pack. You get this guy, he's a bald sort of cybernetic looking guy with a whip for an arm, which is always nice. And yeah, that's represented in the game as well. Let's take a look at how he actually operates in the game though, the Brute Handler. I bet you can guess what his main function is. But first, let's look at the stats. He is movement 4, weapon skill 4+, ballistic skill 5+. His strength 3, his toughness 4, so he's nice and tough like a Goliath. Wound 1, initiative 4+, and attacks 1 as well. Mental stats are leadership 7+, cool 6+, willpower 8+, intelligence 8+. So not the brightest guy, but a nice cool there. Weapons, he comes with the shock whip mentioned on the model there. That is a 3-inch versatile range and -1 to hit in close combat. That is damage 1, melee, shock, and versatile, of course, there too. A decent weapon actually, and not available to a lot of gangs, mainly Escher and I think Gene Stealers, things like that. Pretty good though. Skills wise, he comes with Iron Jaw, which is fairly useless, but yeah, it's nice to have, nothing to sniff at. And he's got 2 special rules as well. So he's got training and part of the crew. Part of the crew is the same as all the other hangers on, so he's always part of your actual crew in the game. He starts on the board. In terms of the special rules here though, we have got training. Now training is as follows. Let me just zoom in a little bit. A gang with a Brute Handler can train their brutes between games. Provided the brute is not in recovery, the controlling player can make a willpower check for any of their brutes using the brute's unmodified willpower. If the check is failed, the brute gains D3 experience. If the check is passed, the brute proves too willful and the training doesn't work. A brute handler can only train 1 brute at a time. In addition, if a standing and active brute handler is on the battlefield and within 3 inches of a friendly brute, the brute gains the Nerves of Steel skill and can reroll any leadership, cool, willpower, and intelligence checks it is required to make. So 2 things there for that one rule. The first thing is if you fail your willpower test, and most brutes, by the way, do have shitty willpower. If you fail your willpower test, you get XP, which is fantastic. If you pass it, it's pretty cool. I like it. It's nice and thematic and fluffy there. And yeah, just remember that most brutes have pretty terrible willpower. I'm not sure who's got the best and worst willpower out of all the brutes, but they've pretty much all got bad willpower, I think. In addition though, I really do like that special rule when he's on the battlefield and within 3 inches of a brute. If you can keep him alive next to a brute, it does have to be 3 inches, which is very, very close. That is a really, really nice boon there with Nerves of Steel on your brute. So if you haven't already got Nerves of Steel on your Ambot or whatever, makes them formidable and very, very scary. So that's a pretty cool one. For 110 credits, is this guy worth it? Probably not, to be honest. It's nice to have and it's very fluffy and fun. And he, like I said, he is an extra fighter in your crew. He's not a particularly formidable one, but he's decent with his shock whip. He's got no shooting weapons though, unfortunately. But he's useful to have, I think, with a Goliath gang for 55 credits. That's pretty good. 55 credits I think is probably worth it. I probably wouldn't pay the 110 credits myself though, in most gangs. It really does depend what kind of brutes you've got. If you've got a campaign that's quite brute heavy, I tend to try and dial back on the brutes because I just think they kind of break the game a little bit. Let me know what you think about that, because I do feel like brutes make Necromunda feel a little bit un-Necromunda at times. Maybe that's just me, but I like brutes, don't get me wrong. I think they're good in sort of one-off games, exhibitions perhaps, but in campaigns it can get a little bit crazy when everyone's got a Cephalopod Spectre or whatever it is. Not Cephalopod Spectre, you know the one. Piscean Spectre. Ugh, scary. Anyway, that is it for the Brute Handler. I will be back with another video in this series very soon. Peace out.